start fostering a positive environment that's backed up by clear research. Hey, this is Rick. I'm a veteran social worker, I'm a trauma specialist, and welcome to Warriors Respite. I just want to talk about, or I just want to continue on the conversation on disciplining your children and spankings. I know anybody who listens to my discussion last time about spanking, there will be people that are quite angry about that because people hold on to their ideology about spanking as if it's the word of God. People desperately want to hit their child. I don't know what it is. You can't hit a dog. You can't hit anything in this world, but they have to hit their child for some reason. I don't know. It's freaking weird. It's the freaking weirdest thing in the world that they have to hit their child. I had a guy on X after I posted something about spanking and said, well, it creates structure for my child. I said, no, you're hurting your child. You're creating pain for your child. You're creating trauma for your child. And you're teaching your child to not come to you when they do something on accident and they think that they're going to get spanked. And he said, you don't tell me how to raise my child. And I said, actually, I kind of am. Because, I'll tell you not to hit your wife. I'll tell you not to hit anybody else. Why can't I tell you not to hit your child? Why is that okay? I don't know. It's freaking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. We are in a logical race of, humanity's illogical to me. Anyways, so just like I would with my child, here's the thing. If I tell my child something is wrong, I'm going to tell them what the right thing to do is, bar none. So if spanking is wrong, what is right? So I'm going to create structure for my child without resorting to spanking. So, the first and foremost, I have to create a trusting relationship with my child. I need for them to feel like they can come to me without feeling like they're going to get hurt, without feeling like I'm going to hit them. They need to know what the right, that I'm going to teach them right from wrong. I need to let them know clearly what the rules are, what the expectations are, what the boundaries are, and I need to set the boundaries firm. And boundaries doesn't mean these are the boundaries or I'm gonna spank you. Like, there's other ways to set boundaries. I can take away their phone. You don't think that's punishment enough? I can do other things. I could set them in the corner. I can do other things. Like, I could say sit in this chair and don't move. Boredom's a great way to punish a child. Boredom sucks. I, as an adult, don't like boredom. I hate sitting there staring at a wall. It sucks. Especially nowadays, man. People can't help but stare at their phone. A child needs something. But you need to provide some kind of consequence. It doesn't need to be spanking. That's a little dramatic, don't you think? Don't you think hitting a child's a little dramatic? If you were to take a step back objectively and think, hey, if you do that again, I'm gonna punch the shit out of you to anybody else, or I'm gonna smack you to anybody else. Don't you think that's a little over dramatic for the smallest, stupidest shit? It's stupid. It's about communicating. You gotta teach a child to communicate. You can't teach that shit. So, number one, set clear rules and expectations. Establish a set of household rules in your house, an expectation that helps the child understand what is expected of them. Let them know what the rules are. They will understand the rules and they will follow the rules. When I set my rules with my daughter and I broke the rules, she'd let me know, Daddy, you broke the rules. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Be sure to communicate these rules and she'll communicate back to me when I break them. And she'll hold me accountable and she'll hold herself accountable. And ensure that your child understands the reasoning and that she understands them. Let her know why these rules are there. I know when I was in the military, I felt like I wanted to know the rationale for the mission, right? I didn't I mean, me personally, I wanted to know that. I wanted to know the rationale for things, even though that wasn't what a good soldier was supposed to do. You're supposed to just do the commands, but I felt better knowing why I'm doing it. So you want the child to understand. The child wants to understand. And you're going to feel better about it if you understand. You know what I mean? If you understand, then you feel less like you're in some kind of cult. Okay, so number two, provide consistent consequences. Come up with the consequences. This is where problem solving comes in. You have a brain. Use it. I mean, come on. Listen, dude. I have childhood and military trauma. I have complex PTSD. I'm a recovering alcohol and drug addict, and I can still raise my child without having to spank her. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people can figure it out. My brain is damaged to all hell, and I could still figure out how to raise my child without beating her. I'm pretty sure people without a damaged brain can figure it out. I don't know. Maybe you do have a damaged brain if that's all you can do is beat your child. And I'm sorry if you feel like you're being insulted all the time, but come on. If you're getting so worked up over the fact that you have to hit your child, maybe you deserve it. When your child doesn't follow the rules, it's important to have consistent and appropriate consequences in place. The consequences should be fair and age appropriate. At what age is hitting a child appropriate? They should be enforced consistently. All right. So, what does a child, what at age 3 is appropriate? What's a child doing at age 3 that could be considered appropriate? So, there's this awesome website called Google, and you can definitely look up alternatives to spanking. I mean, if they're 1 year old, you probably shouldn't be spanking your 1 year old. Just divert their attention, right? So have reasonable expectations, okay? So demonstrate proper behavior for them. Your tone of voice and facial expressions convey lessons best. So, like, keep calm with your 1 year old. Try to distract them when they're having meltdowns. Like, if you're getting flustered because your 1 year old is having a meltdown, guess what? He's one. Work on some coping skills there, bud. You shouldn't be spanking your 1 year old. He's one. Age 2, minimize power struggles. State your expectations clearly without yelling. Why don't scream at your 2 year old? Like, you know, I'm sure we've all slipped up though, right? Like, we've all yelled at our 2 year old. Okay, I'm sure the person who wrote this article has accidentally yelled at our 2 year old. We get flustered. Okay, that'll happen, you know, but doesn't mean you can control your hand. You can control not hitting your 2 year old. If they hit, teach them to use their words. Don't hit them back, you know. Just take them away from the situation, help them calm down. Again, help them with soothing. Age 3, this is where you're enforcing the rules. Give them time out for 3 minutes. You don't have to spank them, You can discipline them. Age 4. Now, this is a tender age. This is a very tender age. This is definitely an age where they start to remember stuff, and you definitely don't want to start hitting them here. This is where I see, or you don't want to abandon them here. This is where I see a lot of patients remember things, but you still could put them in timeout. Age 5, still the same thing, pretty effective. I mean, young kids are gonna misbehave. That's just what's gonna happen when you have kids. Sometimes they're gonna fight over toys and stuff like that. And then when you get to age 6, that's when you're gonna start losing privileges, losing items, some things they really value, video games and stuff like that. Phone, especially when I didn't give my daughter a phone till she was 10. So I don't know why anybody gives their kid a phone before that, but that's your prerogative. Some people are letting their kids on social media, not me, not till she's 13. But like, let the consequences play out. Like, don't set boundaries and stick with your boundaries. Just being disappointed and expressing disapproval is a consequence. When you get in the teenage years, privileges and special items are very impactful. Cell phone is big deal, right? They're giving they're giving a voice on house rules and taking away their voice on house rules can definitely be a focus. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is don't get angry with your kid when it comes to consequences. When it comes to consequences, don't get angry with your kid. And it's not hard to do. I don't think so. And for me, it's not hard to do because I love my child. When you love your child, it's not hard. I think your child can be a really big narcissist and gaslight sometimes. My child can, at least. But I love her. I yelled at her a time or two every once in a while, but I'll say I'm sorry and daddy shouldn't do that. And with practice, it becomes better. And we all make mistakes as parents. We all make mistakes. That's why I say, we all bring our trauma to our children one way or another at some point. Because we all have trauma. Even me as a therapist is going to bring my trauma to my child. But I'm not going to hit my child because I don't hit people I love. In fact, I don't hit anybody unless they try to hit me or somebody I love. I reserve hitting for people who are trying to steal or attack what is mine. Next is to use positive reinforcement. Reward good behavior that's effective and encourages your child to follow the rules. When you catch your child doing something good and you reward it, they will do more of something good. That's why when you're training your dog, and I hate to compare my child to my dog, but this is true. When you're training your dog, you should walk around with treats because every time they do something good, you give them a treat because then that reinforces that good behavior. If you're potty training your dog, you give your dog a treat when it goes potty outside. And it'll think, "Oh, going outside is good." And it will keep going outside. So you want to praise your child for doing good. So my daughter was getting a D in math early last semester. And I told her, if you get your grade up to a B by the end of the semester, and there was only like a month left, I'll get us Melanie Martinez tickets. She's a big fan of the singer Melanie Martinez. She was on The Voice and stuff like that. And she went ahead and got her grade up to an A. And I didn't realize Melanie Martinez was like $225 a ticket. So I'm like $1,000 in the hole because the concert's like 200 miles away. So in June. So that's great. But now she's got her math grade up and she's all in on math. Thank you, positive reinforcement. But that works way better. I'm positively reinforcing my daughter's behavior. Communicate openly. Maintain open lines of communication with your child. That's crucial to building trust. Encourage her to express her thoughts and feelings. Listen to their concerns without judgment. I always do this. I don't spank my child, and I let her know she can come to me and talk to me. And the more she trusts me, the more she tells me about things. She's open with me. She's at an age where all the kids are learning these things that they shouldn't be learning. And they're on social media and they know stuff about, just stuff that I learned as a kid that I shouldn't have known about, but I knew about. And she told me all the stuff she knows about. So I know all the kids' dirty little secrets. And, she talked about some of the kids that pick on her and told me what's going on. And so I was able to gain my daughter's trust, and she's open with me and tells me everything. And I'm very proud of that. And I don't think if I would have spanked her, that I would have gained that trust. Next is lead by example. Children often learn by observing the behaviors of their parents. Model the behavior you want to see in your child and demonstrate respect, empathy, and kindness. in your interactions with others. So, when you're on the phone with a telemarketer, try to be respectful. This is so hard sometimes because uh, sometimes sometimes they get cut off in traffic. You know what I mean? And you gotta remain calm in front of your child. But my daughter's heard every cuss word in the book. But she is the daughter of a social worker, so at least she's very tolerant of people. And last but not least, be patient. Building trust and creating structure takes time. And this is the thing. People come to me and say, well, this didn't work. And it's like, time takes time. You're saying that spanking just works like that. Well, you just pacified your child because they're afraid of you. You got to be patient with, again, with some of these old school people that I've worked with, people in their 60s through 90s who are kind of sick, that were beaten as a child in the 30s and 40s and 50s. They lived their life in trauma, and they were spanked even harder than us. Encourage them to make good choices and provide support and guidance when needed. Support your child. Don't hit your child. Like I said, there's nothing that shows that spanking your child has any positive impact on their upbringing. But positive reinforcement does have proven research behind it. It does. Boundaries does have proven research behind it. Negative reinforcement does. Taking your child out of a negative environment does. Putting your child into a positive environment does. Making sure your child isn't afraid does. That's the thing. Because you say spanking helps, but I don't know what you're doing. You can say you're just spanking. To you, it's just spanking. But I don't know what you're doing. You might be doing something else. You might just be rationalizing it in your mind, but that's not what it is, buddy. So stop doing it. Stop doing it and start using your head. Start fostering a positive environment that's backed up by clear research. Start putting in actual effort to raise your child and build a future where children are mentally stable and they don't become mentally ill and traumatized. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace.